equals string parameters dot truncated name appendage or default to maybe default to that. Default to that, but then we'll change this to a dash as well, just to see how it looks. So truncated name appendage. So within this function, instead of returning that immediately, let new text equal that, and I will say if new text dot length is not equal to text dot length, as in the length has changed, then new text is it plus equals to just add something on here. I will see how this looks. There might be errors. I might need to get the syntax done properly, but let's just see. Okay, undefined. Let's see, how do I add a string text parameter? Yeah, okay, so it doesn't actually need, oh, text was right, but it doesn't need any quotes around it. Okay. So default is just that. I don't think that was just the whole problem, but it might have been. Let's just check. Yep, undefined. Um, so, so I don't need to wrap it in a string. Oh, maybe it's already a string and that's the whole point. So that doesn't make sense. We will just say it's equal to that, or we will make it equal to that. And then for this thing, instead of doing it that way, I'll just make it equal to this. And then we'll just add in the string like that. See if that's helped. Still undefined. Okay, well, this is something I've overlooked then. It doesn't return new text. That was maybe the problem from the start. So I will just add this back in just in case. I would rather just add this to it rather than writing out the whole string. Yeah, that seems fine. I will just change it to make sure it's working though. Make sure it's reading from this and not just the default. So I'll put just a little dash there. And I can get away with 12 then, because I think 13 is probably the sweet spot for this window size. Let's see. So yeah, looks like it's all good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in total, and one of them is the little dash. Okay. So if I put wood, see we don't get the appended text because it's not long enough to be truncated. I probably should add some fuel that has a long name. Uh, Ever burning coal. Fuel. I think I'll try and add in. Oh, my notepad file's gone for some reason. One thing on the notepad file was to add some kind of infinite fuel. So I think one way of doing that might be add the fuel tag with 0, but then add in another something like that. And then I'll just check if this is true, then just don't bother about reducing the fuel text. So this will come in later on. Ever burning coal. Let's make sure we actually add some of that. Add a couple just because. Alright, so yeah, it has done it. It just looks a bit funny because where the space is. It's cut off the coal part and then just add a little dash, so ever burning. Alright, we're getting some good progress here. So we can see those input and the fuel remains on this one, but isn't here. So there's some wood in here. There's ever burning and uncooked meat in this one. And still nothing there. So what should be the next stage? I guess I need, oh, the output still says whatever here. Let's clean that up. Current output items. So that, I think that ended up just being output items. Yep. I think we need to pass the scene into the item list. Um, so it never overwrites the data. Maybe that's what's going on there. If I clear out the data, or maybe make it undefined, does it then reset? Not too important, but just interesting to know. Yeah, okay, cool. Cannot read properly. So why? Oh, instead of being undefined, it should probably just be an empty array, or maybe it's an object. I'm not sure what this is. Okay, that's good. Mm, Right, so yeah, the one thing we need to, there's no output yet, so I probably shouldn't work on that. Uh, Tentatively creeping closer to trying to figure out where to actually perform the ticks. Is there something in here? Let's see. The core, I don't know what's in here. Where is is it map scene? Scene map? Yeah, that is a thing. Alright, let's see what happens. Scene map has an update. Hmm. Some ideas I've had for the tick, how to determine how far along something is, where the fuels come down when the progress towards smelting has gone up. I was thinking you can maybe just catch the time, and then when you open the window again, the difference in time, you calculate how much fuel would have been spent from that and add the ticks. Um, the This is a good way to do it if you don't plan on having any HUD, because it means that you're not performing a lot of calculations all the time unnecessarily. But the problem is I would like some kind of heads-up display, so when you're just walking around on the map, you can still um, watch it happen in real time. Hmm. Could I still do it that way? So, notepad, let's see. I've got a note. When and how to tick. Insert into some main game loop. No, I don't think that is even an option. So, scene map, update, refresh, update all furnace data. So if the scene map update or refresh only ticks when you're on the map and not when you're in a scene, that means if you open up a shop window, then it will stop and no furnace action will happen. Maybe that's fine, but I don't really like it. Um, is there a scene base? So that would mean every every scene that you are on, whether it's the shop, whether it's our own furnace scene, whether it's the map, doesn't matter. Update all furnace data. Um, let's have a look. Oh, wrong place. It'd be in here somewhere. Scene base. There is an update in scene base, but I just wonder if that's dangerous waters to tread. Oh, maybe I can just set up my own interval thing. Maybe within here. Let's see what happens. Set interval. Um, handler. Is this what we want it to do? So it's maybe that. And then some kind of time here. Every second. I think this works with milliseconds. So 1,000 would be 1 second. Console log tick. Oh, it's already ticking. See that? Let's restart the game. Yeah, because it's not inside any game specific action, it's already ticking. Is that fine? Where does the game loop start? Where hmm. Is there a game manager? Data manager, storage manager, item, effect, audio, sound, color, scene manager. Update scene. Is game active? Ooh. So this is saying if the scene is started, which is maybe just if the scene has loaded, and if the game is active, then you can update whatever scene you're on. Else, maybe this is just catching if the scene hasn't started. So otherwise, if the scene's ready to go, but it hasn't started, then you run some code that happens before a scene starts. You start the scene and then run on scene start. Okay. So this is maybe if it's WebGL and it's been embedded. If the window has focus, or well, it seems like this is just for all of the games. So if the game is in focus, it's active. Yeah, okay. On scene start. Maybe I want to be doing something in here. Let's steal this. Drop in our code here, and I will just make another function here. I should keep this very specific. Start furnace tick, and then drop that in there. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so it's still, oh, it's very erratic now. That's probably because every time the scene starts, it's setting a new interval, and it never destroys this interval. So, let interval equal this, and before that, so how do you stop an interval? Hmm. You probably want to catch this in a variable somehow and then tell it to stop this before setting another one. Can we put that in furnace data? Furnace data. Interval equals that. So if the interval already exists, how do I stop an interval again? Clear interval. Okay, seems straightforward enough. And then pass in the furnace data interval. So it's back to doing it once every second. But I only want it to do it when it's not on the title screen. Maybe do I want to add some sort of whitelist or blacklist of when not to run this, or am I just doing it in the wrong place? I wonder. Let's keep looking. We can keep this here for now, but this is maybe not the answer. That's all battle manager stuff. So is there a minimum number of places we would like it to run on? Scene base seems like not an option. Scene map, yeah. Scene furnace, yeah. Hmm. So this is going to be scene title, maybe scene save, scene load. What other scenes are there? Maybe that's the way to go. We can maybe just say in the base scene, if the scene is equal to one of these, then go for it. Or no, not the base scene. In the scene manager, on scene start, this dot scene, we can maybe just compare this or the type of this to something like um, um, blacklist scenes. I don't know if this will work, but hey, if this dot scene is not in blacklist scenes, if this scene is not in the blacklist scene array, then start the furnace tick. And then I guess we can have this as a parameter. So if people do use this or make their own version of this, you can just add in the different scenes here. Yeah, let's just see if that's worked. Oh, it's still ticked. So this scene is not directly that object. We might need to figure out what it is. It's maybe something like if this is a type of scene title. Let's see. I don't really know where to be looking for that. Is there a way to find out what the current scene is and compare it to something like instance of? Brilliant. Or by checking the constructor name. So we could use that, but I think we've got a direct access to it with this scene. Yeah, we're already in the scene manager. That makes sense. If current scene instance of that. Shit. So that means I'll need to should maybe make a function is scene blacklisted. That's not really specific to furnaces. Is scene furnace blacklisted? That doesn't make sense either. Yeah, it's gonna have to be something like that. Just in case there's any other scripts which wants to have some kind of blacklisting for scenes. I don't know. It's better to be very specific so there's no overwriting happening. Pass in the scene, and then we'll need to just have a variable. So the furnace tick is not there. We will say this dot is scene blacklisted for furnace tick. We'll pass in this scene, and then just negate that. So if it's not blacklisted, do the tick. And of course, you don't want to overwrite this whatsoever. This is just for testing's sake. Once I've got it working and I'm happy with it, I will do the I will see if I can do the alias thing with this. Maybe I can't, and I'll need to find a better way of doing it, but we'll get to that. So instead of that, we'll need to do for